Hello and welcome, everyone. We are so excited to share with you all some of the incredible accomplishments of our global community this year. We are Annika and Emily, part of the team at Algalita, the nonprofit behind Wayfinder Society for Environmental Education. Whether you are new to our community or have been with us since the beginning, we thank you for being here and for all the hard work you've done to address plastic pollution and other environmental issues in your community. We want to take some time to tell you about what we've accomplished together to celebrate and keep our momentum going. In case you're new here, let me start with a bit of background about our organization. Algalita Marine Research and Education is the organization that started the movement to end plastic pollution just over 30 years ago. Founded by Captain Charles Moore in 1994, Algalita was the first organization to bring attention to the swirling soup of plastic pollution in the Pacific, now known by many as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Captain Charlie helped spur what our organization calls the Great Plastics Awakening. Our advocacy brought the issue to millions of people across the globe and brought to light the harmful impacts of plastic pollution on our marine environments. Over time, we've worked to revolutionize the plastic pollution conversation, collaborating with students, educators, scientists, and activists across the globe. So this year, together, we took an epic journey working toward a world where plastic pollution is unthinkable. Wayfinder Society is a dynamic, free online program that includes environmental education lessons, activities, toolkits, student action guides, mini grants, and community events, all designed to empower educators and students to be community leaders in environmental learning and education. And we thank you all for participating in this program and helping it to become what we envisioned. Before we introduce the stars of today's show, we want to share a little bit about what we've done this year. So this year, we launched a few new programs and resources. Our Educator Ally program, spearheaded by Emily, is our new leadership initiative aimed at empowering educators to join the Algalita team by serving as advocates, advisors, and champions for all that Wayfinder Society has to offer. In return, the program provides participants with specialized training, access to exclusive in-person events, and opportunities to collaborate directly with a global network of like-minded educators. Our first cohort included 17 educators from across the country. Emily will be sharing more about this group soon. We also started the Earth Month Classroom Challenge. This challenge encouraged classrooms to conduct a campus cleanup and hotspot map to identify litter accumulation zones on campus, and then work together to address plastic pollution by completing the whole pathway. Throughout this program, we had 40 classrooms participate, with 244 students completing a total of 1,609 hours. To support this challenge, the Take Action Toolkit was distributed to 43 teachers, providing additional incentive prize cards to distribute to leading students. We also launched 9 pathways that provide additional guidance to students as they explore their personal style of environmental action. You can also check them out on the Student Hub. They're going to be there anytime for you to access. We also had the pleasure of connecting with a few classrooms for one-on-one interviews with our founder, Captain Moore, started local field trips in our Alamitos Bay, and hosted an online College Perspectives panel series where we interviewed 9 environmental changemakers in our community to learn about their experiences in the movement. What a year it's been. So I'm going to hand it over to Emily now to talk a little bit about our Educator Mini Grant awardees from this year.
Thank you so much, Annika, and for that great introduction. As Annika mentioned, the Educator Mini Grant opportunity is one that we award one lucky educator every other month throughout the school year who is dedicated to expanding their environmental education in their classroom, trying to bring in more education around addressing the plastic pollution issue. And so this year, we awarded 6 individuals from not only across the United States, but across the world who received a collective total of $4,000 in funding to help promote or to gain access to new classroom materials, potentially covering transportation for unique, engaging hands-on field trips for their students, and any other way that they wanted to utilize these funds to expand this education into their classroom. The unique thing about our educator mini grants is not only can educators nominate themselves to receive this funding, but they can also be nominated by community members, by students, colleagues, or parents. And so it's a really incredible way to learn how these individuals are not only impacting their students, but their community as well. And so these are a number of different projects from these lucky educators who received these fundings, whether they were conducting campus cleanups or cleanups on the ocean, creating ocean-friendly gardens. Another is kayaking in the bay. And there's so many different ways that these ingenious educators have leveraged these funds to bring real world impact to their classroom. And I cannot wait to introduce this cohort of mini grant awardees this year. And so here are these individuals. We first have Mr. Kevin Onyango Uma of Western Kenya. We have Mrs. Jess Kutcher of Rhode Island. Miss Christina Torres, who is not only an educator ally, the program that Annika mentioned earlier, but is also a nearby educator to us here in Southern California. So she's based in Oxnard. Mrs. Katie Smith is another awardee this year of Georgia, and Miss Claire Eng is our newest awardee this month, who is from New Jersey. And so thank you, and a huge shout out to each and every one of you for the impact that you make and for always inspiring us to continue this work, because we know that we're stronger together, and this program is a great example of that. And as Annika mentioned, we have our Educator Ally program, which is an inaugural program we launched this year. And it's an opportunity for educators across the United States to go deeper into this issue of addressing plastic pollution, of how they can bring quality education into their classroom around these concepts. But also, each and every one of them had a desire to build deeper connection with other educators who are just as passionate about this issue as they are. And so we have individuals representing nearly every corner of the United States, and it's been such a joy to work with them. Monthly, we meet up for virtual meetups where we're able to learn from different scientists or community change makers within the Algalita community, where they can work together to learn from one another, share resources. And what I'm most excited about, because we've all had these relationships this past year, through Zoom, which is lovely, but there's so many limitations with that. And so in a month's time, they're all going to be joining us for a long weekend here in Long Beach, California, where we're going to be diving deeper into these concepts, and we're going to be going tide pooling. We're going to go kayaking, explore the aquarium of the Pacific, and go on a ton of adventures together as we work to understand how we can be better stewards, not only of the environment, but of the students and colleagues that we work with on a day-to-day basis. And so thank you for educators for being our greatest allies in this movement. And I'm really excited to see how you take all that you've learned this year and continue to expand on them in the coming years. And of course, we'll see you soon. And through this program, we had the incredible opportunity to meet Mrs. Christine Casali. Christine is a high school science teacher at Dedham Public Schools in Massachusetts, and she is our Educator of the Year. Ms. Christine Casali, you have shown us throughout this year what a true, passionate, dedicated educator looks like. And it's really, I mean, I cannot speak enough on hearing all the different ways that you try to find these unique resources, whether it's outside of the classroom, bringing your students out into the field, or trying to find different resources to bring back to the classroom so you can provide hands-on quality education to your students. Whether it's bringing Charlie in for a virtual Q&A for your students, or you working alongside us to represent us and share more about Wayfinder Society at NSTA. I mean, there's so many different ways that we've had the opportunity to work with you this year, and we're so grateful to have you a part of our global community. And with that being said, because I could go on and on about Mrs. Casali, we're going to shift gears and hear directly from her. And so, with that, our Educator of the Year, Christine Casali.
Hi, I'm Christine Casali. I teach at Dedham High School, which is located next to Boston, Massachusetts. Fun fact, Dedham's claim to fame is being the oldest publicly funded school in the United States, started in 1643. After interning at Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2008, I returned to Massachusetts with a desire to be a high school teacher and teach students about science and conservation. Many years ago, I came across Algalita, and I quickly ordered the Investigating Marine Debris kit as I built my ocean currents and plastic pollution unit for my marine science classes. What I've learned from my time as a Wayfinder Society educator ally is that the solution to plastic pollution comes down to human connection. As an ally, I have been able to fulfill a longtime dream of mine of connecting with people at Algalita. Living on the East Coast was prohibitive to this goal for so long. But with the Wayfinder Society Educator Ally Program, I have been able to connect with the Algalita and educators from around the country. This program has allowed me to bring Charlie into my classroom via Zoom to speak to my students firsthand. As a mini grant recipient, I was also able to attend the National Science Teacher Association conference in Philadelphia and learn from many educators and scientists. Everyone whom I shared the Wayfinder resources with was so excited to dig in. In Philadelphia, I was able to extend that human connection to time with my family. Maybe someday I can inspire that young niece I visited to take action of her own. I was able to attend the Marine Mammal Educators Conference this year as well as an exhibitor. Here, I built relationships with educators and scientists in my area in and around Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. During one of our ally Zooms, we get to hear from Katie Allen. Katie, your words and revelations really stuck with me. Again, the solutions don't come down to big corporations alone, but to the human connections. Katie said, let's focus on place-based solutions. This really resonated with me because I am not out there lobbying to companies. But what I am doing every day is educating students and teaching them ways that they can care for their place. In my classroom, some years we do a local trash cleanup. Some years we have only a few kids participate, and sometimes we even have students that make lifestyle changes surrounding their own use of single-use plastics. But every year I work to build relationships with a new group of students. This fosters conversations about why things happen and what we can do to help. I always try to emphasize the fact that each one of them can do something to help their planet. If that is all that they ever get from my classes, I call it a success. If they take what they've learned and share it with others, even better. Some students even go on and study environmental sciences. Some may just teach a roommate or their own children about the importance of their actions, no matter how small. Two quotes I use throughout the year to kind of focus this work. One from the Lorax, the Once said, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better, it's not. And the other I took from the film Racing Extinction that we watch. It's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. Those small actions are so important. In my opinion, human connection is now more important in our world that is rapidly becoming infiltrated by artificial intelligence. One of my biggest fears, just ask my students, they know, is that our world and mankind will become the dystopian society that is depicted in the movie WALL-E. But notice that in the story, it was human connection that saved them and brought them back to Earth and to care for it. May we not lose or underestimate the importance of human connection. I am not just a teacher. I am connecting, and in connecting, I am sharing hope. Thank you.
And so I hope with that you could get a glimpse into Mrs. Casali's approach to her work, to this issue as a whole, and why we are continuously inspired by her passion and her dedication. And so, again, thank you so much, Mrs. Casali, for the impact that you make on your students, your desire to continuously grow. And I cannot wait to meet you finally in person in less than a month's time. And with that, I'm going to shift gears and pass the mic to my colleague Annika as she shares more about the incredible highlights that we've accomplished this year.
Wow, that was so incredible to hear from Miss Casali. And I want to sort of take what she finished with to introduce the Student Hub. Ms. Casali was talking about how human connection and small actions are really the force that we can lean into right now in terms of improving our environment, our communities. And this is exactly what we saw happen with the Student Hub this year. So our Student Hub has over 35 different actions that students can participate in to get guidance on how they can take action in their home, school, or community. I'll share a little bit more about those actions in a moment, but I wanted to start with highlighting just how many folks across the world we had participate in this program this year. So through the Student Hub, people can use the action guides and other resources freely. They're open source, available for anybody to use. But by creating an account, whether it's a team, a student, or an individual account, young people can submit their work to our team for review and get those hours added to their profile so that they can get recognized for the incredible work that they're doing to improve their communities and take action on plastic pollution and other environmental issues. So this year, we're so excited that we had 17 teams, as well as 240 students participating across 40 classrooms, as well as 124 individual students participating worldwide. So we had over 400 active members this year, which just blew us away. We're so excited about what that means for the impact that we're all making together on these issues. So we're all participating on our own, in our own style, to our own capacity, and that's really what we envisioned this program to do, and it's just so exciting to see it in action. So we had students from over 34 countries use the program this year. You can see just where how our community is spread across the globe. It's just so exciting to see that we have students from Mexico to Canada to India and Bangladesh, and you all are having similar realizations about what it means to participate in taking action in your community. You're having similar realizations about the barriers and the challenges to making progress, and you're learning all together that working in community is really impactful. And so I really want to reiterate and emphasize that it might feel like you're doing this on your own or you're participating in Wayfinder Society on your own, but in fact, there are hundreds of students across the world that are working alongside of you. And that's in addition to the thousands of other organizations working to address plastic pollution and environmental issues across our globe. So I really want everyone to understand that it may not feel like we're making progress every day, but in fact we are. And all it takes is to look at some of the accomplishments that we've had this year, to think about what we've all done to contribute, and to look a little bit to the past to see how far we've come. So I hope that gives you all inspiration for continuing this impressive effort that you've all put in this year. So some of those actions that we had students doing this year include actions like asking your elders about how they existed without plastics or with less plastic in their lives, and to share some of their favorite ways to to live zero waste and to encourage then the young people today to readopt some of those practices. So that was one of our favorite actions to review, to just learn about all of the incredible work and ideas that are out there and how these things can happen so easily and naturally in our communities if we just talk to the people that have been on this planet the longest. So yeah, we love this action. We also had a few very dedicated students complete one of our most challenging actions, which is the Banish the Spork packet. And this action has students looking at how many spork packets, which include a spork and a napkin and a straw in their school cafeteria, are being used every day, and to do a small campaign to figure out how to reduce the amount of packets that are being used on a daily basis. So this action really requires that they're working in concert with the people at their school and with their friends and classmates. And while it is one of the longest actions, they can also earn the most hours. And this was just such an incredible action to review as well. And you all who completed this action did an incredible job. So we're just so excited to see that continue to spread across the world. We also really loved hearing from some students who read to younger students at their school about plastic pollution or climate change or other environmental issues. That's the Do a Storytime Read Aloud action. We had many students try to pack their own litterless lunches for 3 days in a row, and even get other students at their school involved with the trending nude food action, which was created by a past Wayfinder Society member in Australia, Hannah Smales. And we also, again, had so many people watch the story of plastic film as part of our student mini grant program and do a system mapping exercise. And we just love seeing the way that everyone is thinking differently about this issue and really getting to understand the systemic nature of this issue and of environmental issues in general. So these are just a few that I wanted to share about. And we also always have to thank our incredible partners who have helped create these actions. We have Peak Plastic Foundation, Gaia, Fenceline Watch, Upstream Solutions, The Lost Art of Love Letters, Break Free from Plastic, Kukua Foundation, Hawaii Bahamas Plastic Movement, Surfrider Foundation, the Moore Institute, our sister nonprofit right next door, Frack Tracker Alliance, and Borreo. So we have so many partners by our side that we have so much to thank for. So collectively this year, our student members completed 971 actions. So this is just incredible work. Amazing job, everybody. And through those hours, those are many, many actions, you all spent a total of 3,401 hours taking action to improve our world. So give yourselves a big pat on the back. Amazing, amazing work. I want to take a few moments to share some pictures that we were given approval to share about the actions that were completed this year, just to really make it come to life. So we had a few submissions from Recharging in Nature. So this is where students go out and reconnect with the nature that they're working so hard to protect, to recharge and get some energy back, to make sure that we're always enjoying, the places that we love so dearly, that we are working our hardest to conserve and maintain for the future. So we always love seeing these incredible photos come in that are just such amazing proof of the real meaning behind this work. We also had a submission from Creating a Better Bag from EcoSpin. What a beautiful reusable bag made from an old t-shirt. I just absolutely love this one. And we also had a few submissions come in about re-engaging with a local politician. So this is Aman interviewing Romina Alam, advisor to Pakistan Prime Minister, on a local news channel about the environmental issues rural communities are struggling with. Aman has really done incredible work this year, and this picture is just absolutely lovely. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And we also had a few students even host a screening of the Story of Plastic documentary to educate their broader community, from Renee in Mexico and Aman again in Pakistan. So these photos just absolutely make our day, and we're so glad we get to share a few of them with you today, so you can see the incredible work that our community is doing. And my last category of actions that I want to share a little bit more about is our systemic thinking actions. So here we have the systems mapping action after watching the Story of Plastic, and the stop and jot, which is also associated with the documentary. So here we have a few incredible responses to the film that really show how you all are taking this so seriously and to heart, and really running with those incredibly strong feelings that this documentary evokes. So I'm just going to read a few of them. We have Nima is saying, I wonder how we as individuals can further drive systemic change. How can local communities influence policies on plastic production and waste management, and what innovative ideas might emerge if we all take small, consistent actions towards reducing plastic use? We have Sam, who says, I think the plastic pollution crisis is not just an environmental issue, it's a human rights issue. These responses are really highlighting just how changing how we think about environmental issues can really be so powerful in getting us to focus on the true solutions. We also have a Corfa saying, I feel angry, heartbroken, but also validated. It made me feel seen as someone from a place where the plastic ends up, where the away in throw it away really is. As an entrepreneur building solutions in this space, I'm also left with questions. It's overwhelming, but it also fuels my conviction that we need bold, locally rooted, and justice-centered solutions. Wow, I just, reading these just is so inspiring for us to continue this work, and I hope that it's inspiring to you as well, to all of our amazing community members. The STAR students that we selected for this year, these are just a few of them that we've gotten permission to announce. So we have Justine Dagadu, we have Cecile Lama, Farouk Jingo, we have Isabel Carneo Eguia, Noshin Yahan, Renee Sofia Garcia Orozco, Peggy Chen, Aman Danish, and a few others. So we just are so impressed with the incredible submissions that you all submitted this year, and we're very excited to share the work that you've done with our broader community, with our funders for this program. And we hope that the rest of our community in Wayfinder and in the broader plastic pollution and environmental movements, we hope that they all are inspired by your incredible work. So congrats again, and we hope you continue this incredible work for years and years to come. And I do have one more thing to share, which is our Earth Month Classroom Challenge, which I mentioned earlier in the presentation. We had students across the country participating in the Earth Month Classroom Challenge. So students watched a video in class, then completed a campus cleanup which is one of our lessons in Wayfinder Society for any other interested educators to access, or students if you want to lead that on your own. And we want to announce that Miss Pope's class was our top class this year in the classroom challenge. So Miss Pope had 73 students complete 473 hours in the month of April. So just incredible work. We could just tell how much effort you all put in to doing these actions, and we're so grateful and hope that you're really seeing an incredible impact at your school. So thank you again for participating and congratulations.
And with that, I am so excited to shift gears and celebrate our 2025 Student Mini Grant awardees. And so, for those of you watching this presentation who might not be familiar with what our Student Mini Grant is, it's a offering that we provide every spring where we award $15,000 in funding to students worldwide who are working on projects, creating programs, or furthering their education to addressing the plastic pollution crisis in their campus, in their community, or beyond. And so this is a cohort of students who are dedicated to utilizing their talents, figuring out how they best fit into this movement, and then actually taking action and finding funding to make this change happen. And this year, we we understand that these students globally are a part of this global movement addressing this issue. And so it only felt right to invite representatives from a number of partner organizations in this movement who are working with other youth or other community members to address this issue, to be part of our judging panel. And so these four individuals took their time, went through all of these applications alongside our team, and they helped us choose our finalists, and we're so grateful to them. And so these representatives are Sam Atney, of Marine Plastics Program Manager, who works at Earth Echo International. We have Alex Gordon, who is the United States and Canada Member Engagement Officer for Break Free from Plastic, which is a coalition of us and so many other plastics-based organizations creating change worldwide. We have Carolyn Curtin. She's the Student Club Network Coordinator for Surfrider Foundation. And lastly, Chelsea Williams Walcott, who is the Membership Director for Post Landfill Action Network. If you haven't heard of any of these organizations, I highly encourage you to go check them out, learn more about their incredible impact. And again, we are so grateful for these four individuals for helping us make the really hard decision of the finalists for this 2025 year. And so we awarded 20 mini grants this year, which was absolutely incredible. They come from so many different corners of this earth, whether it be France, Peru, North Carolina, Guinea, Mexico, Kenya, Illinois, Pakistan, Chile, Tanzania, Georgia. And so it's a really beautiful representation of what Annika was mentioning earlier, understanding that this issue is a global one, that we are all impacted by it in a lot of different ways, in a lot of similar ways as well. And so let's dive a little bit deeper in who these awardees are and what their projects are. And understanding that this is such a diverse issue, there's so many different ways to make impact, so many different paths to follow. And so for this first section of awardees, we're going to talk about environmental justice and starting to understand how we can utilize our tools, create programs to not only protect the environment, but also protect the people who live within it as well. And so we have Nosheen, who's the founder of Blue Future in Pakistan, who is working to increase climate activism in education, especially as it relates to her region with the warming of the planet and the melting of the icebergs that surround them, they're starting to see a lot of impacts around flooding and a lot of other climate impacts. And so her focus of Blue Future is really trying to increase the knowledge, equip the citizens of her region to take action and find solutions. We also have Marion, who her program is the Plastics Law Legal Literacy, which she's working with rural individuals to teach them about the laws and regulations around plastics within her community and helping them understand how they could potentially increase protective measures and increase access through finding new avenues and creating new regulations and policy to protect them. We also have Peace, who founded the EcoClean project on her campus, which is looking at bringing a lot of different resources to campus to increase the general knowledge of her fellow students. It's also looking at how they can clean up campus, how they can also work with other organizations and other community members in the area, knowing that we're stronger in numbers. And so she's really building this deep community that is fully focused on addressing this issue within her region. We also have Carson, who is has the investigative journalism project that's using storytelling to explore and expose plastic's impact in his city of Nairobi. Another area for our awardees is looking at the power of community education. And so Aman, as we mentioned earlier, she founded Earth Warriors Pakistan. And this is a really unique approach to this work, as she's not only trying to spread information around climate, around plastics education, but is also adapting them to the regional languages within those rural communities in Pakistan. In addition to that, she's founded climate camps, which is a week-long experience for students to come together, to take action, to get creative. And again, as we keep talking about the importance of building human connection, those camps are doing just that. We have Everline, who founded Plastic Free for Moha Parks, which is a campaign around cleaning up the Moha Parks region to start understanding where and how these pollutants might be traveling within the ecosystem, but also how they're already ending up. And so it's kind of this multi-pronged approach that she's working on, and it's been really inspiring to see the project she's working on. We have Peggy, who designed a microplastic detection STEM toolkit, where with these funds of the mini grant, she is going to be creating and designing 50 of them and then disseminating them throughout the United States for classrooms to use and bring this important information to the classroom. And then, of course, we have Sulaiman. He's the founder of Concerned Youth Initiative for Climate Action. And I could say so many things about Sulaiman, but we're actually going to be hearing from him shortly in this presentation. And so I am going to hold off so he can speak more about his program and how he's furthering his education. And another focus area is zero waste campuses. We have Ian, who founded the Plastic Free Study Initiative, which is looking at plastic-free zones on campus where students can go, and there's printed out information, resources, ways to learn more about this issue, and also to where students can sit around a table together and start figuring out what are those place-based solutions that they're wanting to make within their campus. We have Happiness, who founded the International Youth Network, which is connecting classrooms across multiple campuses within her region to work together around cleanup initiatives, around how they can bring reuse to their campuses. Cynthia created a campaign called Plastic Free School Days, where certain days throughout the year, she's encouraging her classmates, her teachers, other staff at her campus to go plastic free. And hopefully those experiences that are isolated in those few days of the year can actually expand throughout the school year to find those solutions and eventually have a zero waste campus. Barack has founded the Save the Environment Project, which again is looking up cleanup efforts, how students can build leadership opportunities by leading workshops on campus. Everline founded the Zero Plastics Club, which is doing similar projects around cleanup and education. And also Lorene, who founded the Plastic Free Champions Club, which is also making those same efforts on her campus. And so, again, it's incredible to see how these projects overlap, how they're also very unique to their local region or campus. And I'm really excited to see how they are able to evolve their campus culture over the years based on those programs. Another focus area to highlight is the plastics research and monitoring. And as many of you know, the history of Algalita, doing the plastics research out into the open ocean, and now kind of evolving our efforts around education. Working with our partner organization that's right next door to us, the Moore Institute, who is doing microplastics analyzation within drinking water. This is an area that we are really passionate about. And so this group of individuals are working on a number of different areas within this field. But first, we have Carla, who is doing plastic pollution monitoring within rivers across Chile. And she's also working with a number of local organizations as well to increase the impact and capacity of her efforts. And we're going to be hearing shortly from her on the next coming slides. We have Anna, who is doing something similar, plastic pollution research and data collection, but specifically at Lake Michigan, as she's a student based in Chicago. Anishka is doing fungal bioremediation research, and so figuring out how fungi can actually break down these pollutants that are residing within our environment. And so seeing how, if that's scalable, and seeing how that could be an important part of the solution in the coming years. And Renee is doing something similar around bioremediation, but she's studying nanotoxicology. And so she's looking at those nanoparticles, how they're infiltrating local ecosystems, and she's studying and similarly doing data collection, getting volunteers within the community to become more knowledgeable and become better stewards of the environment, so they can also be allies in the work. And then lastly, Isabel. She's the co-founder of the Environmental University Network. And so she's focusing on building bridges between scientists, colleagues, students across campuses to create this web of impact where they can rely and support one another to continue the great work that they're all doing collectively. And then last but not least, our last focus is entrepreneurship. And Cecile Lama is a chemical engineering student who founded this entrepreneurial effort around plastic-free cosmetology. So she is really inspired by her African heritage to bring certain natural ingredients and remedies and creating these plastic-free home and body care items. And it's really exciting to see that with these funds, she's now able to create some prototypes of some of the products she's wanting to create. And I'm really excited to see where her ingenuity takes her. And so across these 20 students representing so many different countries, so many different regions, I hope you are just as inspired as we are, seeing that there are so many different ways that we can relate to and connect to this issue of plastics because it is such an omnipresent one. And I know that no matter the fears, concerns that I'm thinking of the future, that I am reminded that we are all in this together, that this future of students are our allies in this movement, and we are here to support them, to protect them, and to help propel them into the future we all want to create together. And as I mentioned, Carla was one of our awardees this year from Chile, and she is actually our Western Hemisphere Student of the Year. And we're going to be learning more from her, more about her work and her impact, so you all can get a taste of why she's our Student of the Year and why we're so grateful to partner with her. And we look forward to seeing how her work really unfolds over the coming year together. And without further ado, let's hear directly from Carla.
Hello, my name is Carla. I am a marine biology student, a member of the NGO called Love Can Live, an organization founded in 2018 in the city of Valdivia with a mission to protect, conserve, and restore aquatic ecosystems. Since then, we have worked tirelessly for a more sustainable future, carrying on cleanups in body of water, environmental education activities, and scientific outreach. We do all of this in collaboration with other organizations, forming a large community that share a common vision to care for our waters and all the life that depends on them. On our planet, plastic pollution in body of water is a problem that has become increasingly visible. I have been seeing it up close during cleanups. Countless bottles, bags, and microplastic floating among the species we try to protect every day. This reality has deeply shaped the path of my team and myself as scientists and activists. It has driven us to work every harder a lab can live to gather data, educate, and mobilize. That's why receiving this mini grant is a tremendous honor and a huge opportunity. Thanks to this support, we will be able to conduct plastic pollution monitoring together with the community in various rivers of Valdivia, generating key information to better understand the problem and seek concrete solutions. I am deeply grateful to be part of this international group. It is inspiring to know that there are students all over the world who, like me, dream of a healthy and fairer planet. Being part of this global movement filled me with energy and hope. So thank you so much for believing in me and in the power of community to change the world.
And so, Carla, just as much as she's a student of marine biology, you can tell that she's this incredible community weaver that's looking at all the different resources, all the different people that she can partner with, work alongside to further her research, further her work in her region. And we are continuously in awe of students like Carla who are dedicating so much of their time and energy and really their future of what she's studying to address this issue. And so thank you, Carla, for being a part of this movement, for all the work that you're doing. We have Sulaiman also, which I'm so excited to hear directly from him as our Eastern Hemisphere Student of the Year. Sulaiman, we've had the opportunity to work alongside you for over a year now as you were a 2024 Student Mini Grant awardee working on some projects, which you'll share. But also, it's really incredible to see you apply again to continue expanding your research, continuing your education to become an even stronger steward of this work. And so let's take time to hear from Sulaiman as our Student of the Year Eastern Hemisphere awardee.
Hello everyone, I am Suleiman Abubakar Umar and I am from Gombe State, Northeastern Nigeria. It is an honor for me to be here as an advocate, deeply rooted in my community. My environmental journey began, witnessing plastic pollution's direct impact on our lives here. This led me to establish the Concerned Youth Initiative for Climate Action. Last year, Algalita's Wayfinder Society mini grant empowered our initiative, launching a vital community education on plastic waste and fostering new awareness. Building on that, I'm now pursuing my Master of Environmental Management. This academic pursuit addressed the need for systemic waste solution. I'm incredibly grateful for a second Wayfinder Society mini grant this year again. This transformative support enabled my master's research focusing on localized, effective waste management, systemic and policy for our context. Upon graduation, I aspire, to leverage this knowledge to implement large-scale evidence-based intervention against plastic pollution and other waste issues across Gombe State and Northeastern Nigeria. I aim to work at the intersection of grassroots action and policy advocacy, ensuring a culturally relevant and sustainable solution. And then being part of this international Wayfinder Society cohort is truly an inspiring. It reminds me we are a global family united in our commitment. This support strengthens my resolve daily, and I am proud to stand alongside these incredible leaders, all working toward a future where plastic pollution is unthinkable. Thank you, Wayfinder Society, for fueling this vital effort. Together, we are making a waves. Let's continue to empower each other and inspire, change globally. Thank you.
So great to hear directly from Suleiman and hearing how over the years he's really developed himself to understand where his talents and where his strengths are, and then going full force into that to be a great ally in this movement. So, Suleiman, thank you and congratulations. And again, we look forward to working with you along with all the other incredible Student Mini Grant awardees over this next year. And so, with that, as we bring our end of year celebration to a close, I want to thank each and every one of you for being an integral part of this global community. We are continuously inspired by you. We are excited to work alongside you. And I truly hope that you feel that you're a part of this movement where we're all working together to imagine a world where plastic pollution is unthinkable. And so, with that, I wish you all an incredible summer, and I can't wait to see you next year. See you later.